Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Meet the Dot Artists webinar. I'm Jeff Sass. I'm the CMO of Dot Art Registry. And on behalf of Ovi and the entire Dot Art team, I'm very happy to welcome you to this webinar. And I want to give special thanks to Alexei Popov, who's our head of sales at Dot Art, who coordinated this with one of our very friendly registrar partners, Name.com, and we're very happy to present this webinar to you in association with Name.com. So thank you, Alexei, for setting that up. And it's my pleasure now, before we begin, to just remind you that everything we do at Dot Art helps support the Art Therapy Initiative. So by supporting this webinar and supporting Dot Art, you're also helping us spread the word about the healing powers of art. Which is very important, especially in this stressful world we live in today. So thank you for your support. Thank you for being with us today. And it's my pleasure now to introduce Anastasia, who's going to be our host and moderator. Anastasia, it's all yours.
Hi, everyone. I'm Mackenzie. Thanks, Jeff, for the introduction. I'm the senior UI UX designer at Name.com. I'm also an artist and I own an e-commerce company where my primary goal is to help individuals feel their best through clothing, accessories, and custom gifts. Similarly, at Name.com, we're in the business of empowering and helping people bring their business dreams to reality. Our vision is a world where anyone who wants to launch a business can with a trusted partner. And we do this specifically by equipping creative entrepreneurs and small businesses with educational content, domain registration, and website hosting services. And that's why we're excited to partner with the Dot Art Registry and share the stage with our talented Dot artists today. I'd like to introduce Anastasia from Dot Art.
Hi, I'm not Anastasia. Anastasia had some technical difficulties. Sorry. Thank you. Thank you, Mackenzie, for that. So we're going to get started with our first artist. Actually, I'm going to introduce Jordan Bruner. Jordan is an artist and a filmmaker whose work encompasses painting, printmaking, ceramics, and animated films. After receiving her BFA from the Kinetic Imaging Department at VCU, she ventured to New York in 2007, marking the beginning of a career in animation. Since then, she's worked with notable clients that include the New York Times, Eve Ensler, The Atlantic, and Warby Parker. These are not Warby Parker glasses, sorry. In 2013, Jordan received the Art Directors Club Young Guns Award. Jordan, thanks so much for being here, and welcome, and introduce yourself and your work. Thank you.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. Thank you for that intro. I'm excited to be here today and share some more of my work with you. I'm currently living in Richmond, Virginia. I grew up in Virginia Beach, Virginia, in a creative household. My mom is a painter and a sculptor, and my dad is a cabinet maker. So I grew up surrounded by lots of art and a very creative family. My older brother is an artist as well. My artistic journey began early on. Like I said, making art with my mom in her studio, focusing on drawing and painting. And then when I was 12, I received a video camera for my birthday, which sparked my passion for filmmaking. And that kind of led me to then study animation, video, and sound at VCU. After I graduated from college, I moved to Brooklyn and I lived in New York for about 12 years and then returned to Richmond, Virginia in 2019. So I've been back in Virginia for about 5 years. And I'd like to start by sharing some work with you. This is a series of paintings I created for my first solo painting show that I had last year in April. The show was called Wild Women in the Wild, and it was comprised of 12 paintings where I explored like vibrant color palettes and dynamic compositions. Each piece here is depicts people in nature or in kind of like an abstract void. The women in these paintings are either acting with each other, interacting with animals and their surroundings. And I was trying to create subtle narratives within the work. So the piece on the left is called The Dancers. And all of these pieces are acrylic on canvas. The Dancers, I feel like kind of explores like female friendships and camaraderie, kind of has a Rockettes vibe going on. The Exterminators on the right was inspired by a trip to New York and just seeing these weird weapons in a window and thinking about what are these ladies doing with these weapons? Are they on a ship? Like, what's going on? I'm not sure. These next paintings, there's actually the one on the left is behind me right here. It's called Luxurious Ladies. These two pieces were inspired kind of like the summer solstice, winter solstice, kind of trying to like explore ladies lounging in the different seasons with different substances and animals. I have 2 whippets, so Luxurious Ladies is very much inspired by my dogs and animals, and Dumpster Queens is also inspired by my love of white wine and raccoons. So that's where that comes from. This next piece is called The Sisters. Again, just trying to explore creating kind of like a moody composition. It's really inspired by color palettes from like Milton Avery and just female camaraderie and sisterhood. These are a couple of photos from my studio and various stages of the process of painting. The way I created this work, I took my sketches and then projected the sketches onto canvases or artboard and then started building up the color from there. Here's a little video of my studio in my backyard where I work. My dog out on the porch, keeping guard. And yeah, this is where I work on paintings. It's a converted shed in my backyard. So yeah, this is what the shed started as, and this is what it's like now. So I can work out there. I've got a little AC unit, so it's nice and cool in the summer. So other recent things I've been up to, I was just in an exhibition called Made in Virginia. It's a biennial show at the Virginia Museum of Contemporary Art. And the Made in Virginia Biennial show, it's a juried exhibition that celebrates the talent of Virginia artists. The show featured over 87 works from 61 artists, and it will be up in the museum until January. I was really surprised and fortunate when I saw this poster. They used my painting from the show for a lot of their promotional materials. So that was really exciting to see that. And on the right, this is me and my husband, Zach, is in the middle with the wacky sunglasses, and my friend Sean McClintock, who's also an amazing artist who had some work in the show. My piece, The Exterminators, was used on the invitations for the show. And then here's so those were my paintings and my friend Sean's painting. We thought it was funny. We were like right next to each other. The next thing I'd like to talk about is the Richmond Animation Festival. So in 2022, my husband Zach and our friend and filmmaker Dash Shaw, we launched the first ever Richmond Animation Festival here in Richmond, Virginia. We've got a lot of great festivals here, but none dedicated to the art of animation. So it seemed like a great opportunity to launch this. This April, we hosted our second festival. We had an amazing program of animated shorts from all over the world. And we were really excited to have our first ever guest speaker, Robert Beatty, who's an incredible artist and graphic designer and filmmaker. We hosted the festival at the Historic Bird Theater, and we had over 500 guests this year. We plan to make this an annual event and are excited to see how the festival grows and evolves in years to come. This picture on the left is Zach, me, Dash, and our guest speaker, Robert. On the right is a photo of the interior of the theater. Dash and Robert did a really incredible Q&A after Robert presented his work. This was our poster that was designed by Rachel Maves, who's on the right, holding our festival program. This is just a still. It's kind of little and hard to see. This was a film called Tennis Oranges by a filmmaker named Sean Pecknold. It's a really, really beautiful stop motion animated short film. And then here's a video of the interior of the theater, and we got our hands on a copy of a film by Bruce Bickford, who makes these really surreal kind of stream of consciousness hand-drawn and stop-motion animated films. So this was really cool that we were able to screen his film this year, or one of his films this year. Again, it's a little hard to see, but okay. The next project I'd like to talk about is a mural I created for Warby Parker. So in 2021, I was invited to create a mural at Warby Parker's new shop at the Short Pump Mall, also here in Richmond, Virginia. So behind the checkout desk, I created a family portrait of my pet family, donning Warby Parker's really cool eyewear. So that's for the interior of the store. And then outside, I created murals with lots of different animals wearing glasses and other kind of colorful home goods and books with quirky titles. So this is the exterior of the store, and you can see my mural straight through the doors. This is the inside of the shop. So yeah, this is a portrait of my pet family. My cat passed away, R.I.P. Pablo, and this is Zucchini, my dog, and before I got Caesar. So it's my evolving pet family. This is the illustration I created that was then printed and put on the back wall of the shop. And this is a photograph on the left of the exterior of the store, and on the right is the illustration I created to go. That was then printed and installed on the exterior of the store. And I think this is the last project I have to present. In 2020, I was commissioned by the MTA Arts and Design program to create a 52-channel installation in the Fulton Center in New York City. This was an absolute dream project. I was given a complete blank slate. I could create anything I wanted. And after living in New York for so many years, I just was always so inspired by the MTA Arts and Design program. There's always so many cool installations and sculptures and murals and all of the stations. And at Fulton Center, there was a great opportunity to create an animated installation because there's 52 screens of all different sizes and shapes throughout the entire station. So with that in mind, I created site-specific animation featuring different imaginary landscapes. I started just by sketching, I don't know, things that I really felt inspired by at the time, just like dancing in the woods, eating fancy dinner. And that became this installation. So here's a photograph of the really tall vertical screen in Fulton Center. This is a scene of a forest with lots of birds dancing with briefcases. And this is a shot of the mezzanine where there's a screen that wraps around 360 throughout the whole station. So I created this repeated kind of horizontal scene. Here are a couple more screens in the station. On the right is one of the scenes I made that's like an underwater restaurant. And on the right here, there's a scene with lots of dancing animals in outer space on different fantasy planets with some donuts. And on the left is a beach scene with lots of different animals and yeah. And then lastly, these are my dogs. This is Zucchini and Caesar. They're my constant inspiration. Just had to share some cute photos of them. And then, yeah, that's everything.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much, Jordan, for this presentation. I love the dogs, big fan. My name is Anastasia. I'm your second co-host today. Sorry for before, I had some technical problems, but now it's my great pleasure to introduce our next speaker, Anna Dianova. Anna is a Ukrainian conceptual painter and multimedia artist. She works mostly in figurative fine art and digital art. Having graduated from the National Academy of Fine Arts in Kiev, Anna works in the conceptual and figurative fine art style. In the past, Anna has modeled, worked as an art dealer, acted and directed, and her work The White Knight became a part of the Andrea Bocelli Foundation collection of 2017. Anna is simply remarkable, and we are so happy to have you here. The floor is yours.
Hello, thank you very much for having me. I'm very inspired by your work, and thank you for inviting me. Now I'm visiting my parents in Hamburg, and it's a very cultural place because being an artist, it's always seeing art around you. I lived in the United States between New York and Miami for the past 6-7 years, and my story is that I'm Ukrainian. I'm from Kiev. I studied in the Academy of Fine Arts in Kiev, Ukraine. And before that, it started with the art school, then art college and art academy. So you can imagine a path length with 15 years of education. Why do I even mention multidisciplinary artist? Because while you're studying art, you're studying it in very different dimensions. I studied it on the oil on canvas, in acrylic, in digital art, in filming, in staging, in designing, even acting and understanding what is sound. While studying art in the Academy of Fine Arts, I understood the core of academic painting, the nude model posing, the anatomy of a human. My style of art is figurative. Oil on canvas means that I'm depicting people. Also, our academic program been requiring us to understand what is academic conceptual vision of a painting, of a proportions, of a composition, of a storytelling that you're creating. So my art can be a little bit theatrical, cinematic. If you can help me with assisting and can show you my website, I'll be very thankful. If we can show my paintings to our viewers. Thank you very much. So as you see, I am combining figurative and very classical styles, but with a splash of a contemporary color, contemporary style, because you have to understand that artist is growing through the lifetime. It's very often that your art can change through years. Not very much, but it is good to see how you evolve through time. And my art has changed when I moved to United States, because you have to feel your clients, you have to feel the culture where you're living. And my art is very fantasy driven, has a lot of female figures, it has a lot of topics of Ukraine. As you see, the Ukrainian flag. We can move forward and to see more paintings. Paintings about characters praying for light, praying for the future of humanity. Why am I picking a topic of, I would say, of a spirit, of belief, of hope? Because I'm working with charity. My latest donation was to the Angel Helpers Charity Foundation, supported by Eric Adams, who is the mayor of New York. It was a big pleasure for me to participate, and of course, I've been doing that before in Ukraine with a White Ribbon organization. We've done projects in Ukrainian parliament supporting women and kids. And I would say all my art is kind of about human rights, is about human belief system, is about believing in dreams and making them come true. If talking about art, I've been searching for topics forever, and I think the most important is to have your strong style, which is reflecting your personality, and picking different topics that are important for you and in your everyday life. Art is a therapy. It is a big therapy because I think this is a very peaceful profession, despite the fact that you can dig in a very, very heavy topics. Art is very powerful. It has a voice. Art has different form. In my case, I didn't try everything, but I tried oil on canvas. I did digital media in augmented reality for Economic Forum together with a blockchain art company. We presented AR VR project in front of thousands of people at the forum in Kiev, Ukraine in 2018. And was a second medium that I tried after oil. I also been assisting film production for a long time. And it was not an art dealing, but art directing. And it was requiring a lot of script writing, creating creative ideas, like for marketing, for advertising, creating a visual storyboard, creating I would say scenography, if you have this word in English. It's when you visualize the stage with different objects in different colors and shapes. We can move to my news part on my website. And we can move a little bit down and to open the AR VR colorful black and colorful article. Yes, please. To see what kind of AR VR project was that. That was exactly the objects that we created in 3D. It was a big video that I did in a collaboration with another artist. I'm very proud of this work because it was about the future. We were asked to visualize the world of a future. It was exactly before the pandemic, and we didn't even know that everything right after 2019 gonna turn dramatically into developing digital technology so much. And during this project, we were able to touch the technology and to understand how popular is that gonna be. I'm very thankful for this time. And I guess this is my latest news that I was able to share with you. if you have any questions, I guess we'll have more time to talk a little bit later and to discuss more paintings and more works of each other. Thank you.
Thanks, Anna. That was great. If anybody has questions, you can start adding them in the comments and we can start asking the artists. Anastasia, did you want to start with any questions, or I can as well?
Yeah, you can go ahead. Thank you. Ross, if you could also please add Jordan back to the round table. Yeah, that'd be great.
Thanks. One question for both of you. Jordan, if you want to start first, and then Anna, you can answer after. Both of you have such distinct styles. How do you go about the process of developing, like Jordan, for example, all of your figures are similar. You have a very distinct style. How do you develop those?
Yeah, I guess for me, it's probably just pretty intuitive. And I'm really inspired by a lot of, like contemporary art. I grew up looking at like Richard Ledner was one of my favorite painters, and yeah, I just kind of looking at different like painters that I find really inspiring, and kind of using that as like a starting point, and then just coming up with poses and things that I think are interesting. But I guess it's not like super calculated. It's more just like an intuitive process of what I feel like looks right and feels right to me.
I love that. Thanks. Anna, how about you?
Thank you. The style. The style, I think it's the character of a personality. And I think it's almost impossible to fake it, because all of us has their own style of a brush stroke, some topics or philosophy that will always be with you, that you will always come back and would like to talk about. And I think especially on a canvas, you want to depict something the most important for yourself. And for me, as I look at my portfolio through years, and I start recognizing same topic during 15 years, I just try to make it more clear and easy for me. And I think stylistically, it is very important to express yourself and to define what is your palette, what is your topic, and it's gonna make you very successful if you're gonna make it faster.
Actually, a question I had for Anna, because she works with so many mediums. Well, I guess it's a question for both of you. But Anna, how do you choose? Does the idea come first and then you choose a medium, or is it about exploring one medium with different ideas? That would be fascinating to know.
Well, it's a good question. My method of working is it depends on the concept of like the way you have to work on this idea, because it is really cool to be an artist and to use and expand yourself into different mediums, and still to keep your style very strong while using, like, for example, you can go to the sculpture, or you can go and express yourself on a canvas, but we will still recognize it is you, it is your brand, it is your style. So for me, I think it's better to have freedom of choice, and of course a very profound and understanding of what is your concept of your brand. If you're only painting on a canvas, or you're painting and sculpting, or you're painting and doing videos that are in the same style, and I guess you have so many options. I'm a person of options, I would say. I believe in freedom in creativity. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. We do have one question, or quite a few actually, but I can start with, oh, here it is. It's from Jeffrey. Jordan, you've had great success getting your work into events the VA Benally brands, Warby Parker, the Fulton Station Installation, etc.? Are you making these connections yourself? And the rest of the question says, or working with the manager, what advice do you have for other artists to make similar commercial connections?
Thank you for the question. It's kind of a combination. I have a rep right now with Sunday Afternoon, and I used to be rep by Passion Pictures as a commercial director, and I feel like those collaborations definitely helped me expose my work to a wider audience. But I also feel like with networking and meeting people, it's like when I first moved to New York, I like didn't know anybody, and it was just kind of meeting one person, and then it kind of creates like a tree. like so yeah, the more people you meet in your industry, and the more like friends and connections you make, I feel like that just opens up more and more opportunity. And also like I feel like it just never really ends. Like as many things that I like apply to, um there's so many other things that I apply to where I don't get in. So it's just kind of also getting really comfortable with like rejection, and will then lead you to the opportunities that actually do manifest and come about. And also trying to, if work is slow or you're not getting an opportunity to feel inspired to keep creating your own work, and finding your own voice, and staying inspired to create work and putting it out there, either on your like own social media platforms, or connecting with people in your community. That's kind of a roundabout answer, but yeah, I guess it's kind of a mix.
Sorry, we've got another question from James, who is an illustrator and digital artist from Maryland. He's asking, which methods did you use to grow your audience? Which is, I guess, a great question, because any advice you could give to start artists and creatives that are just starting off, because you guys have had incredible creative journeys, and of course you must have used networking, how you, Jordan, mentioned, and anything else, please share.
Yeah, for me as an animator, I use Vimeo a lot, and I'm not sure if that's as relevant now than it was maybe like 10 years ago, but that was a great place to connect with other filmmakers. And they hosted a lot of really great events in New York. And I made a lot of friends through Vimeo. I love Vimeo. And I think now, I mean, going to conferences, meeting people in person, I think is always the best way to grow your network and find opportunities, but also sharing your work on Instagram or other social media platforms. Yes.
Yeah, I will continue. I agree with everything that Jordan says. It's a very universal experience for artists. I would add probably the human factor that is like I experienced on myself, is that you are your best promoter. No one else knows better what you're doing, what you're reflecting, what you're feeling, what kind of feeling you're sharing. Each person you meet, you share your story. Each person you meet who is interested in your art, you show your art. More you exhibit your art, more people you invite, you meet, more you promote, and more you ask people to show your art and to get into professional collectors, and so on and so on. You gotta really become your top manager so that you can understand how to find the best top manager for yourself. So I think what I experienced is that you do it yourself first, then you find professionals that are surround you from both sides, from the side of your business or from side that is collecting this business. And I guess the best success is building relationship. That's your best promotion, and your collector is your best promoter.
Thank you for this. Speaking of building connections, can't really miss the question everybody has on their tongue about social media. You guys both have significant following, so I wanted to ask you how you managed to build that, and also how you keep the balance between social media and other channels like your website and maybe other communities. Whichever of you would like to go first.
Okay, I can continue. So I constantly in professional communication in art. I go to the, I visit webinars. I go to the personal meetings with gallerists, with everyone in the industry, and it's important, I think, to be informed about new platforms to put your work online out there. If you know how to promote and present your art online, it is great. Either it's a website of Etsy or Saatchi, or it's your own website or Instagram. It is great. And plus, of course, from my point of view, I'll keep saying that, keep mentioning that the physical work, the physical appearance, it is the most, I guess, memorable impression and what we can, I guess, offer to each other. Thank you.
Jordan, how about you? Did you have an answer to that question as well?
Sort of like, how do I share my work on social media platforms? Or yeah, I feel like historically I've used Vimeo to share my work, my animation work, and that's been great for me for animation. I feel like, to get my work out there. And then I also share my work on Instagram. I don't think I'm like the most active on Instagram, but if I have a new project or anything like that, I'll always share that. And it seems to be a great way to get news out there about a new project. And other than that, I think, like Anna said, I think meeting people in real life seems to be how I've made the most progress in my work. I think just having the human connection, or knowing someone's face or personality, makes a huge difference, because I feel like we're so inundated with so much information online that, like, if you have that human connection, I think it goes a long way.
I agree. We've spent so much time online, even more and more this years, that sometimes I guess we have to remember that we have to meet. We have to create a really high quality projects in physical reality, and even present them, even present the digital works more often. As I've been experiencing, is that when you put yourself into any presentation or project, had been giving the most of the progress, this personal showings or collaborations or any interactions always have the best results. I guess we have to meet all of us soon in one city and to maybe create some project together. I guess you have a great platform. We have a lot of artists.
I love that. I'll be there. Let me know when and where.
I will be waiting for your information too.
Perfect.
If Name.com wants to do something.
Yeah, I love that. We have another question from Jeffrey. Ross, do you want to put it on the screen? I can start reading it. Both of you have worked in different mediums, from animation to AR/VR, etc. Are there any particular changes to maintain your distinctive style across the different mediums?
Mm-hmm. Okay. If to compare AR, VR to oil and canvas, for example, right? You know, when I tried AR VR in a helmet for the first time, I was amazed how actually easy was that. It was hard to spend hours in helmet and to lose your mind between if you're in reality or not, because it really like your brain is functioning in a different way. And probably this is the beauty of new technology, that you can believe in a different reality and to create a different reality, or you use it to create a different reality. And how many like metaverse projects came out of digital projects, but it is completely different mediums. I guess it is more scientific question, because I think the way your brain is functioning, the way you can believe or visualize things can still be the same, because as an artist we have very visual memory and vision, and the way we can see things will probably never change. If you change it to a brush, or the brush is going to be digital, you still see your ideas, you still have your imagination. It just it will never be enough to express yourself. And I think it's either you can express yourself on a canvas, or you expand to digital or film, or your own life. I think this is about having life as an art, like our art of life. Um, that's my opinion. Thank you.
Yeah, I think for me, since I started out, when I first started making art, I used a lot of like wash and watercolor, and I've always really loved like that process and how that just the aesthetics of that. And I always feel like when I work digitally, it's like trying to pull and those like tactile aspects into the computer. So I almost I mean, it depends on the project, but I feel like I'm always trying to create in a digital world some sense of like something that feels kind of tactile and not 100% digital. So yeah, that's kind of how I try to merge them together.
Cool, thanks. Anastasia, did you have any questions, or I can ask one as well?
Well, yeah, since you guys are talking about different mediums, is there a medium that you haven't yet explored and you'd like to try out?
I think I would say that I tried a little bit of this and that, but something I considering expanding. I think there are two mediums I'm interested in. One is sculpture. I studied sculpture for a couple of years when I was younger. And I think it is a great medium for an artist who is in figurative art. It can be easy, but I also been considering film directing. Also has a figure, but has more scenario and more psychology behind. So I guess I'm picking between these two. How about you, Jordan?
Yeah, for me, I love interior design and architecture. So I feel like my dream would be to like design like a dream space. And I'm currently learning Cinema 4D, and yeah, I'd love to design like home goods or patterns for textiles. I think would be really exciting.
Well, you're kind of on your way there with your studio and other interior work at Warby Parker. So
yeah, I'm doing that.
I have one question that's kind of specific to our business, specifically at Name.com. Something that we're really interested in is how users, artists like to get their ideas online for an audience. How much thought and effort for you both goes into the things that surround your art, like your domain name, your website, your social media presence, and things like that?
Oh wow, a lot. it's a lot. Branding and marketing is like everything right now. Despite the fact that, as I've been saying, you have to be really good in person, then you have to really pack it. Like you have to be so good at marketing yourself. Everything has to be perfect. People has to really remember your name. You have to read it right, write it right, and I think this is the top number one must have right now to have a right website and right platforms to be associated with. And I guess the platforms are gonna push you through the internet, because the internet now is like a roadmap for searching any name or any art or any style. And if a platform can help you with this, I guess you won this game. I think it's very important to have it, this support.
Yeah, I think for me, in terms of like naming, my website is myname.net, and then I have for my art website it's .art. And then my Instagram handle is Jordan Bruner. Yes, please. And I came up with that a long time ago, and I actually thought of changing it, but now I kind of like it. I think it's a little goofy, but yeah, I think just having like a consistent presence and just a clean website that's really easy to read, and like back to kind of like even what Anna was saying too, it's like there's just so much information out there. I think you really have to just get across what you're doing really quickly. So the more direct and like clean you can be in your presentation, um, I think that's really important. Not to like confuse people of like what are you trying to do here? Yeah, you kind of want to be direct and clean and to the point, I think.
I like that. Consistency is key.
Yeah.
What parts of getting up and running feel the most daunting for you both? Was there anything that felt like a headache or was a really complicated process?
Like in the beginning or just every day?
Yeah, like just getting yourself out there and putting yourself out there, like taking that first step and developing a website or choosing a name. I guess it's your name, but you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I think just, it's a lot of work just to compile all of your images and make sure, like for me, I don't love like photo editing and things like that, and color correcting and just making everything look consistent. It is a lot of work to collect all your work and present it in a cohesive way. So yeah, I think it's important before you even like get into the process of even making a website is just have all your files, have everything ready to present. And then the most daunting thing for me, I don't love writing. So doing that and trying to, talk about projects for me is probably the hardest part, is like writing about work. So like
Yeah,
artist statements, things like that, I always find really challenging.
I agree with you. I also have this problem description. Like, I think being an artist is such an introverted thing, but that's why online helps a lot. If talking about my website, which is annadianova.art, I dream about moving into annadianova.com. I think it's going to be a better game um, in marketing, but I'm okay with my domain. I think it's pretty accurate. Um, I guess the hardest part is actually to look extremely professional with the website, because there are so many different ranges of artists and art communities and institutions that you have to actually be qualified and fit in, and accordingly build your website and your presentation. I guess the best is to just pick a couple of examples and try to be very professional at describing your works the same way. That's it.
Thank you. We still think that art is more awesome because it's kind of more unique, but I might be biased because I'm head of content at .art. Anyway, I wanted to ask both of you, since you've talked about your journey and your difficulties, whether there was one advice that you could give to yourself when you were just starting off, what would it be? And this would work for our audience of creatives who are also just starting off, maybe.
I would just say, like, be patient. And I think when I first started out, I was just so hungry to have things happen really quickly, and it does take time to build up a career, and and just keep going. Don't stop. Be patient. Yeah.
That's great. What about you, Anna?
I agree, never give up, chase your dreams, work hard, like try to understand, expand in your education in this field, or just try different things. Just never stop. I agree.
All right, let's see. What other kind of tools have been incredibly valuable to getting online? Social media, for sure. Do you use anything that helps you with writing copy or anything like that? Or is there any sort of, I guess, yeah, like what do you use to help yourself?
I use ChatGPT.
Mm.
Don't tell anybody. But no, I think sometimes I don't start with it, but then if I need a little help editing, sometimes it can give me new ideas. But I found that really helpful as someone who likes to kick off writing to like the last minute. It's been a helpful tool for me.
We all use it. Don't tell anyone. I think at this point, yeah. Actually, sometimes even as a first draft, it's helpful if you're stuck for ideas, I find. Anna, what about you? Do you use any artificial intelligence?
Yeah, from time to time, but mainly for like asking just questions for like finding something. But in if talking about art and creativity, I usually I really trust myself, and I really write down things myself. I like writing, despite the fact it can be difficult. I do collect like booklets and from any exhibition or any museum opening. It has great examples that you can be inspired by, like present from the presentation of the biggest artists, or like I buying books. I collect books of artists. Actually, this is like really cool stuff to print your own book with your story and everything there. And I watch movies about art, and it gives so many information how to present yourself and how to describe your art. This is probably why I am in art, because I'm surrounded by this inspiring information.
Thank you. It's been a great discussion. For the concluding questions, if you guys have any future projects coming up that you'd like to share with our audience, please go ahead.
Thank you. I think we're gonna let you know soon. I'm traveling now, but I'll be back in States and I'll continue my work. For now, cannot say anything.
It's top secret.
Yes.
Okay. Jordan, what about you?
Yeah, I have a project I'm working on. It's also top secret. I'm kidding, but I'm working on some new paintings and working on a project, a 3D project that's just for fun. And yeah, I'll also see what happens in the future.
Awesome. Mackenzie, did you have anything else you'd like to talk about?
No, I think that was a perfect final question. Thank you both so much. It was great to meet you.
Thank you very much. Nice to see you.
Great. Well, thank you everyone for joining us today. I want to especially thank Anna and Jordan for sharing all the valuable information. And it was really interesting because on the one hand, Anna's art takes very realistic figures and puts them in stylized worlds. And then in many ways, Jordan was kind of the opposite with these stylized figures, in sort of real world settings, and really interesting to see the differences between the two. So thank you for sharing everything. And I think these insights are going to be extremely helpful and inspiring. And I learned a lot. I thought it was really cool too. I didn't realize, maybe it's obvious, how you can sketch something small, then project it on a much larger canvas to get that large painting. So Jordan, I thought it was really cool that you shared behind the scenes in your tiny home studio, which was really neat. And then I think, yeah, when you first started showing your work digitally on screen, I didn't realize how big the canvases actually were. So it was really neat to see that. So thanks for sharing that, Anna. And something that's not top secret is that there is a special offer going on at Name.com right now for your .art domains. So please make sure you go to Name.com and check out that. We talked a lot about the importance of branding, and if you're an artist, either a professional or an aspiring artist, having that .art domain to really declare yourself as an artist is something that is extremely valuable in building your brand. So don't forget to take advantage of that special offer. I want to thank Mackenzie and the Name.com team for partnering with us on this webinar. And of course, thanks to Anastasia. And behind the scenes, we have Ross and others on the .art team, Ross, Rachel, and others who help out with putting these webinars together. We hope you find the information really valuable, and you can visit our YouTube channel and subscribe there and see all of the past webinars we've had, and stay tuned for upcoming Meet the Artist webinars. So thanks everyone for joining us. Thanks to all of you, and I hope everyone has a great rest of the day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.